Value, 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 value. I can't stress enough how important the property valuation is when submitting a winning bid. But how do you define the market value of a property? In this video, we'll share more information on how a property valuation is set up. Very, very important because information is everything. Welcome to our Property Valuation 101. Why is a property valuation so important? Well, three different reasons. The first is that the bank will only give you an amount equal to the actual value of the property. The second one is that the seller will also know what the value of their property is. So if you submit an offer that's much below the valuation, most likely you won't get it accepted. Also, the last part is that when you submit an offer, you want to know how much cash would need to add on top if you overbid. So those three reasons are very important to define the market valuation. But how do you do that? Well, let's first start by sharing more information on the method that they use. They use in the housing market the comparison method. What does that mean? Is that you look for similar properties that were sold in the neighborhood in a specific time frame. You use those properties to define what the property that you want to submit an offer on is valued at. But what are the criteria to take into account when you look at comparable properties? Well, first of all, like I mentioned, properties that were sold in a similar neighborhood. You can't compare properties from two different cities. The second is make sure that the properties are similar in characteristics as well. Comparing a property that's 50 square meters with a property that's 80 square meters is not advisable. Why? Because 2 bedrooms can make a lot of difference. And also the value of the property will go up the bigger it gets. So it means that there might be less people on the market that can actually purchase that property. So now you've defined properties that have been sold in a specific neighborhood and that are comparable in terms of size. What are other things to take into account? Next to size, it's also important to look at other characteristics that are unique to this property. Let's say, for example, if you compare a property that has a garden with a property that doesn't have a garden, that might have a big impact on the value. So make sure you use comparable properties. When you've defined properties that are similar, there are certain elements and characteristics to a property that increase or decrease the value of the property to some extent. Think about, for example, the energy rating. Think about the quality of the build or the character of the property. Think about the view. All of these things add or decrease value of a property compared to the ones that you found that were sold in the last 6 to 12 months. Now you found properties that are similar and sold in the neighborhood in the last 6 to 12 months or longer. It's good to look at the exact date they were sold at because the market might have developed over time. So let's, for example, say you found a property that is similar that was sold 12 months ago, then you would need to adjust the value based on the time difference. These are all of the elements that will actually help you navigate through the market valuation and secure and find the market valuation of your property. Now, let me sum up how to define the market valuation of a property. You look at comparable properties that were sold. By comparable, I mean properties that are similar size and have similar characteristics. So don't go and compare a property that has a garden with a property that doesn't have a garden. Now, second is you look for characteristics that might add or decrease value of your property compared to the ones that you found. The third element is that you have to adjust the value of your property based on the time that the properties that you found that are comparable were sold in because of market developments. And last but not least, it's important to know that even though you found kind of like the market valuation of your property, you would still need an appraiser to actually get you the mortgage with the actual value of the property because the bank will only accept the valuation of an appraiser. So that was a crash course on how to define a market valuation of a property. Very, very useful information when placing a winning bid. The next question you might want to ask yourself is how much should I bid or overbid? Well, we've created a video for you just about that topic. Just click on the link in the upper corner and learn more about how much you should overbid or not on a property.